Welcome to Growing Old. Photo periods versus autoflower. Part 2.
We cultivate with purpose, heart and soul. Cannabis as medicine, that's our goal. In our
Well, okay. In our last video, when we were comparing the two, I started off with the pros. So let's look at some of the pros. We talked about bigger plants because they're bigger. Well, here's what Jack Ash says. If plant count is an issue, you want big photos. He says, I've grown 12 to 15 footers and got 5 to 7 pounds from each. But he says, hey, to be fair, one was indoors, one was outdoors. Which brings up another question, indoor versus outdoors. Great topic. Maybe we'll see that. But I just want to point out, heck, if I could grow one indoors and get 5 to 7 pounds off of it, I'd be excited. But check out his channel because I've seen him. I've seen him cut a 3-foot bud off of there. So check it out. Another comment, Niplash1. He says he likes to grow photos outdoors to see how big he can get them. Yeah. Now, he'll come up again later, I think. Okay, so now my second point on the pro was bigger yields. So let's just jump back to Jack Ash right off the bat. And he says he just grew 10 purple chemo autos and they only grow 2 to 3 feet tall. Huh. I'm thinking about the greenhouse out there. And when he dried them up, he only got 18 to 44 grams each per plant. So, like he said before, 12 to 15 footers, 5 to 7 pounds each off of the photos. Budget Nugs says that loves photos for the yield and the potency. Now, my last pro in the photos was control. And that was the big thing in the whole video and all the comments was, I think everybody's point of view was they liked the control. So that's probably the main factor. But King Tim 420 says, I think you just have more control of photos and they're more forgiving if you mess up. And again, we just look out there and the issues that we went through when we were trying to get those into a space here or out into the greenhouse, we can see how the autos have acted one way and the photos are starting to kick right back in. Another favorite of mine, Substance X Abuse 6466. This guy's always got really good opinions. He's always got good inputs, great questions, great answers. In his opinion, photos are very beginner friendly. If you make a mistake, you have time to correct it. Autos have come a long way since early 2000. In his opinion, more experienced growers have a better advantage because they know they have a fixed timeline and they know mistakes can be costly, so they can move on. Jack in the Green Talk, another great channel. He prefers photos because he likes the control element. Green Thumb Hustle. I'm growing indoor photos as I have full control. Outdoors, he grows autos because, again, he lives in Germany and he has short summers. And then Miss K's Garden, here's another one, and it's basically, it's big time control. She prefers photos because you can clone them, and if you find fire, you can keep it going. I mean, that's a big point. And if you're watching a lot of guys out there now, a lot of people they're breeding their own, so that's all control, and that's all photos. Okay, so let's move on to autos and our pros there. Now, I talked about control the light cycle. Now, Grokex, over there in Germany, he says he would like to briefly explain why Germany is clear outdoor autos make sense, because their summers are unfortunately not so stable. Now, I've been stationed in Europe, and I've been to Germany many times, and he's not lying. I mean, beautiful country, beautiful, but you know, it's short. Green Thumb Hustle, outdoors autos are my choice, as because of the short summers. Again, because he lives in Germany. I mean, that's a thing to look at. Maybe here in the States you live farther north, so there's not as much light. You know, maybe that's a good option for you. Fast growing, Niplash 1. Now, I like this quote. This is his comment. I like that I can run about 30 autos in 1 gallon pots, get an ounce or so off of each in a 4x4 tent to refill supply in about 70 days. Now that, you need to check out Niplash 1. I mean, that's great. I love that. Lukey Grows talks about he prefers photos, but growing 2 to 3 auto runs in the same time frame is a big yes for him and his stash. I mean, that's another great quote there. Makes me kind of laugh. And Slow Vibe, he says, quick cycle and how manageable they are in small spaces. And it's more easy for novice. Next, I thought easier harvest, because in a lot of the autos I've done, it's just, you know, like I said, a branch, a couple of leaves, and we see that out there, except for those, yeah, some of those. Whew. But Budget Nug says autos are great for new growers without all the proper gear. So I think what he's getting at there is budget growers, it's a good option. You don't have to go high tech or anything. Now let's move on to the cons. Bigger plants. And even though that was a pro, it's also a con. Here's another one I really like. Roxanne, and you need to check out her channel, says that she prefers autos because she's growing in the Hey Abbey. Now, I'd be afraid to grow in that because I'd be afraid to get it dirty. I mean, you need to check that out. It's cool. And the autos tend to be smaller and shorter in time, so it's nice that she can run more through there. But yeah, I mean, if you got a small space, it's great. Longer grow time. Again, I've got Niplash down here. He's running 30 autos in 1 gallon pots and getting done in 70 days. Out here, our photos are going to go till October. So that's a thing. Lukey Grows, he prefers photos again, but growing 2 to 3 autos in the same time frame is a big yes for his stash. So there, he loves the photos, but he'd rather have them come in a little earlier. And then I mentioned light dependent, because right there we're looking at if my power goes out like we had earlier or something like that, it can send you into veg or take you out of veg. And again, Grokex, Green Thumb Hustle, they talk about the weather in Germany in the short summers. Now, Nice Guy Genetics, because I was talking about light dependence, he says, light cycles are easy with a timer. So he's right. So maybe light dependent isn't really a con, at least not to Nice Guy Genetics. Cons for autos: finicky. Canna Farmer, he thinks autos are bad for newbies. Now, we've heard earlier that it was good. Here he thinks it's bad for newbies, but okay for more advanced growers, taking advantage of extra space. And I can see what he's talking about there because, like was mentioned earlier, I know with autos, I can't make mistakes where if you're new, you're just learning the steps and maybe you forget something. Sleeve McDickle, great name. I'm a beginner, yet to harvest an indoor auto, but just doing this one grow. So he's growing an auto this time. But he thinks he prefers his photos because they're more forgiving for a newbie. And there again, we're going back to photos more forgiving. And he says he's going to stay away from autos at least until he gains some more skill and experience. I mean, he's got it all together. And again, substance abuse or substance X abuse 6466, he says photos very beginner friendly. You guys need to check out his channel. He's starting all over and he's getting things going. Now, 123 Fast Buds, he actually thinks photos are more finicky. You know, talking about they need CalMag, silica, you know, all sorts of support. I got to adjust my lights. He says his autos require none of it. Now we're getting on to the final couple, the last two, smaller yields. Nice Guy Genetics says the biggest con for him is they grow short and without a huge yield. Indoor 420, he says that with growing an auto is knowing how to grow, something I don't know to do yet. He says he gets about 3 ounces off of each of his autos, but he knows people who consistently get a pound and are just as potent and tasty as photos. So it all comes down to knowing how to take care of the plant. And there, he's another guy saying maybe beginners should just start with photos. Lastly, potency. Now, like in the last video, I said I've never found a problem with potency. Ty Law G, he says that the potency thing, that's just old news from the beginning years. They've been sold commercially for 22 years. And he started growing autos and he's been growing them since 2017. He's seen no problems with it. Now there's a guy everybody needs to check out because a lot of us are here because of Ty. So if you're not subbed up to Ty, you need to get up there. But that all said, I mean, there it is. And please let us know in the comments if you like this kind of content, because I like to do it. But maybe even in a live format. But please comment below if you'd like to see more content like this. And we'd like to thank our subscribers and our viewers because this is really a blast. Thank you.